Well, hello, students. Who won last week's treasure hunt? Intro class, the winner was the Trump group. New York class, the winner was the Long Island group. The terrorism class, the winner was the Asia group. Well done, winners. Everyone gets a 2-point bonus. You did well for ordinary muggles, but this week my little sister is ready to increase your struggles. Ha ha ha! You'll never find her. Stay tuned for my clue.
All classes, the final. It's up to you, but it's got to be decided by the group. I've made the group proposal form available. Drafts are due by 10 p.m. Sunday 26th. That's the Sunday after next, so you've got plenty of time to get this sorted out. The group proposal form itself is due by this coming Sunday, the 19th at 10 p.m. I will return it with suggestions. Managers and members, your jobs. Now, normally I give you all a vote and redistribute you to new groups for the final, but this semester I'm sticking with the news groups since you already know one another. Otherwise, people who have been with me before, it works like it usually does. The entire group has to agree the book and the common themes. Members, you agree topics so that they don't overlap, and you agree on the 3 common themes that provide the main sections for each of your essays. You submit your drafts and revisions through submission forms just as you did with the project page essays. The links will be on the final page. Managers, you don't write your own essay. At the beginning, you make sure group members know what they're supposed to be doing and you submit the proposal form. At the end, you receive the consolidated text from me in one long text file. You edit this into the final edited version and you add an introduction and a conclusion. You send the final edited version to me as an attachment to email. It can be a doc or a pages file or a PDF. After I post the final grades for the course, there will be a final comments page so you can see how you did compared to other groups. Drafts and revisions. Lengths are a little bit longer than the project pages. Instead of 850 draft and 1100 revision, it's 1100 draft and 1500 revision, so you can write a bit more. Remember, you can always put the surplus in the reference box. Just make every word count. You submit your essay as you did before through the submission forms. Your choices. There's lots of choice about what you can do. You get a choice of book from the syllabus. Then you must agree on the topics arising from the book that each of you is going to cover. In the intro class, you can return to Nixonland, or you can pick from the books in the second half of the course, Insenberg on campaigns and Kagan on the liberal international order. I already assigned the Smith-Simon book to the Sanders group, but if another group wants to have a go, that's okay too. You can also pick the textbook. Remember the first question on the forum when I asked you about what you didn't know? That could also be turned into a group final project. In the New York City class, you can pick a mayor and different topics, or you can pick a topic and different mayors. Or you can custom design your own project with topics like housing or schooling or planning the new public places. In the terrorism class, pick the book and divide up the topics between you. Stern, right, Pakistan, Syria, Russia. Can you do the pandemic? Yes, you can do the pandemic in different states across your region, or you can compare the forms of terror we were studying before Fordham closed with the form of terror we have been experiencing since the outbreak of the virus. You should quote from the Forum Digest if you want to do that. The part. Each of the essays by each member on each topic must use the same 3 sections. These are called the common themes. So you've picked your book, you've assigned your topics for the essays. What 3 sections will each essay be divided into? What are your 3 common themes? For each theme, I want a single word with a colon after it. For example, in the New York City class, if you were looking at Mayor Koch, each section 3 of each essay would be legacy, colon, and after the colon, the member would add housing or policing or gentrification and something to individuate that section. See the chart at the top of the proposal form. Office rules. Let's get this straight. You work for the manager and the manager works for me. It's like you're interning. When the manager submits the final edited version, the manager must also submit the manager's assessment form, giving each member a score out of 10 and reasons for their score. Yes, they have to write a report. It's what managers do. Now, don't worry, I do intervene to make sure this is done fairly and works on the same scale across groups, but I really have to intervene because the managers are more careful and conscientious about what they're doing than managers usually are. So be kind to the manager. Their efforts often make the difference between a B+ and an A- or an A- and an A on the final. So rugby rules, everyone play fair and you'll all do fine. The forum. The forum is going to have to close at 10 p.m. on Sunday, May the 3rd. Last month's rule is suspended. You can make up to 15 postings. I'll give you quantity points on the first 10. After 10, your postings can still be chosen for the digest. You can make up to 20 total, but don't go crazy. You can make them anywhere on the page, but remember, the traffic light color tells you how likely I am to pick another posting for the digest. So if the light is yellow, make it good. And if it's red, make it really, really good. Skype office hours. Mail me and we'll fix a time. I'm doing a lot of night nursing right now for my daughter, sleeping 5 to midday, so I'm usually asleep in the mornings Eastern Standard Time. The class party is coming. We need help. It's going to be a planning committee meeting via Zoom. I have some people in mind. The final review exercises are coming, our end of semester polls, where you decide how it turns out. What am I supposed to remember about this class? This is where you find out. The final review exercises will be available on Tuesday the 5th of May, and you'll have until 10 p.m. Sunday the 10th of May to vote in them. That's Tuesday to Sunday during finals week. Mark it on the calendar. So there is a final during finals, but instead of writing your own final in class, you have to read what other people have written at home. Warning, typically for this class, they're not normal polls. There'll be a lot of pick 3s and pick 2s. You'll see. Don't forget to vote. Voting alone is worth up to 10 points, and you can earn more points if your postings and essays place in the top 3 of any of the polls. Treat yourself to an expensive bar of chocolate and a premium cup of coffee for this one, okay? It's going to be good. Imagine having a final to look forward to. Terrorism class. The class essay page. Pakistan, Syria, Russia. Oh, wonderful. When we went into lockdown, I was worried you wouldn't get as much out of the second half of the course. Somehow, it worked out the other way round. You actually got more out of the books than your predecessors. This is the best Pakistan, Syria, Russia page I've had in years. Pakistan! Yes, you heard the siren song of Liven. Pakistan is fascinating. It's like Japan and Argentina, a nation state in a category of its own. Great primer on the dynamics of Pakistani politics, America's fraught relationship with Pakistan, and yes, why the Pashtuns play the Kurds in this theatre of conflict. Syria. The essays were focused on Turkey this year because of developments in the endgame, the American withdrawal, and now what is going on in Idlib. Great stuff on how Erdogan consolidated power and how he fell out with his old pal Assad. Intriguing on the comparison between Syria and Libya. After Iraq and Afghanistan, Obama was naturally reluctant to intervene in Syria and Libya. Look how that worked out. Russia. Yes, what is Putin doing in Syria? How did he get Trump to vacate the premises? I still think it's all down to who Trump owes money to. Thanks for the essay about Putin and the next generation that has been raised entirely under his rule. America. 2 fine editorials for you here. One on President Trump's very potentatic way of running foreign policy, the other on the inevitability of doing something if you have the power to do so. My 10 cents. American foreign policy is not a choice between doing or not doing, as so many of the left and right seem to think. It's a question of what to do. Remember, the whole point of having power is knowing when to do nothing. You have to understand your limitations and work within them. The forum! I added the notes on Russia and the new authoritarians. The link is in the class notes section of the home page. The new Russia page is like the Pakistan and Syria pages. Lots of maps and pictures of the main figures. The background for guessing. It's all in there, people. The profound trauma of the 1990s. You can't understand Putin before you get a grasp of what Russians went through. It was like the aftermath of a pandemic. Putin's strategic use of terror in consolidating his regime, the rise of the new authoritarians around the world, and what the dictators and would-be dictators have in common. Read over the notes, then go back to guessing. Okay, you're still posting on Pakistan, Syria, and Russia. Keep going on China's role. Yeah, Chinese New Year, Mardi Gras, Florida spring break. Seems like every country had its super spreader event. I'm wondering, people, is a natural disaster on this kind of meteor impact scale good for authoritarians? On the one hand, true, they can let public order disintegrate, extend surveillance, and then play the strongman on TV. But on the other hand, could circumstances get so bad as to sweep them away? New question, P6, disinformation. Take a look at the New York Times special from 2018, Russian disinformation, from Cold War to Kanye. Watch either episode 2, The 7 Commandments of Fake News, or episode 3, The Worldwide War on Truth. Either compare and contrast Trump and Putin, where are they similar and where are they quite different, or comment on the balance of challenges versus opportunities that the coronavirus outbreak presents to autocrats. Timelines. If you're going to do one, the deadline is 10 p.m. Sunday, 19th of April, which is this Sunday.
My terrorism class, you're clue students. My little big sister's in league with Greta. She lurks in the back row when bad guys get together. Will Trump steal, save, shale? Or is big oil washed up like a beached whale?